All right. While I'm looking for the video, let me ask y'all a question, right? If your child was to disrespect you, right, would you give them a second chance? Would you sit here? Would you like go in front of a judge and give up your rights? Or would you do what I did, like, let the aunt intervene and try to help out to see if things work out? Would you sit here and say, fuck it, press charges on your child and let him get arrested or her get arrested? Here we go. I found the video. Now, if your child had the choice, because I'm asking two questions, right? Touchy situation, right? I'm asking two questions. Now, for the first question, like I just said, would you give your child another chance in your life, in your house, if your child was to disrespect you or raise their hand at you, right? If your child was to disrespect you or raise their hand at you, would you give them another chance in your house and in your life? Or would you give them a life lesson, take them out? Would you do what I did? Try to seek help, right? Because you can't let them back in the house. Not that you don't want them back in the house, right? And sometimes there's a lot of parent situations like this, they have to kick the kid out. But I feel as though I can't kick my son out. I had to try to seek and find help. So I came in accordance with the aunt. I came with an agreement and she's helping me out. She's with him over there, right? So I took help for my son. Would you seek help for your child? Would you throw your child out? Or would you say, fuck it, let the system help deal with him? What would you do as a parent if your child was to disrespect you? Right? Now, my other question is, if your child had the option, right? Because you and your spouse are having problems and you had to go to court and they gave your child the option to stay either with you or the father. And you know what's crazy? Let me start this over. I want to ask this to a lot of fathers out here, fathers. I'm gonna say it more to the fathers, and then I'm gonna ask the same question to the moms, right? If you was going through a situation where you and your spouse had to separate, right? And now y'all going through custody issues and stuff like that, and your child was told, "Do you want your father in your life?" Right? And your child tells you, "Nah, I want stepdad to be my father." Right? And you're begging and pleading your child, like, yo, think about it, because if I sign these papers, I can't be in your life, you can't be in mine, yada yada yada. And your child says so. As a man, as a father, and I'm asking a lot of men, like, I don't know, if I have any men on the, grown men that have kids in the chat. I don't know if anybody that catches the replay has any, kids. But as a father, what would you do if your child said, no, I don't want you to be my father. I want my mom's boyfriend, which is the stepdad, to be my father, right? Right? And I don't want you to be a part of my life. And you sit here and you sign them papers and say, okay. And then, you go through what you go through hell, because losing a child, that's like losing a child. You can't see your child no more, right? And you go through whatever you have to go through and then have to pick yourself right back up. Years later, 15, maybe 20, 24 years later, your child pops up at the door knocking. Your offspring, I'm going to say it, your offspring comes knocking at the door saying that they want another chance in your life. And they're doing this because their mother passed away. What would you as a father do in that situation? Would you tell them no, they're not allowed back in your life? Or would you sit here and give them another opportunity, another chance in your life? I want y'all to listen to this. You don't have to be sorry. Go sit down, my love. Hold on, let me mute this. Let me play this.
Do you guys think I should let my first biological son And my
Sorry, I was trying to take me off mute.
son, he come to my house. He had friends in my neighborhood, and he enjoyed being around my family. I thought everything was great. But when my son turned 11, he stopped wanting to come over. It was at that time when his mom had got a new boyfriend. He was pretty well off. So I know he wanted to take them on trips and do fun things on the weekends. So at first I ain't making no fuss about it. I ain't even argue about it. I wasn't mad. But 6 months had passed by, and I was maybe only seeing my son once a month on the weekend. After 9 months, he stopped coming completely. I couldn't see him at all. So for 3 months, I was calling, trying to chase him down, begging to see my son, but to no avail. So thankfully, my family helped me, and I got a lawyer. That way I can sue for parental alienation. I lost the case. I sued and lost. And on top of that, the judge ordered me to pay more child support. As I'm leaving the court, her lawyer comes up to me and he says, "We'll drop the child support if you sign away your rights." And I said, "No, I flat out refuse. I'm not signing away the rights of my son. That's my best friend. I love my son." Then the lawyer said, "This is your ex and your son's decision."
Shout out to them real fathers out there. Shout out to them real pappies out there.
So what? My son decided that? The lawyer said, "Yeah." So I said, "Let me speak to my son alone." At first, my ex didn't agree, but then she agreed as long as both our lawyers could be there, her lawyer and my lawyer, while I was talking to my son. I talked to my son. I asked him, did he really want me to sign away my rights? He said, yeah. I was like, wait. You don't understand. If I sign this, that'll mean I won't be your dad anymore. And you won't be able to come around me or my family. And he looked at me as if he was asking me the time. He said, yeah. So I was shattered. I finally asked again. I said, what? Are you sure you want me to sign this away? And he said, yeah. He said he wanted my ex's boyfriend to be his dad. I signed the papers that day. It broke me. And from that day until 2 days ago, he never spoke to me or my family again. And literally, that almost killed me. After that, I started drinking. And I started to drink a lot. I'd be drunk for weeks. I'd probably still be drinking right now if it wasn't for that final one day while I was drinking and I passed out and I aspirated on my own vomit. I wouldn't even be here right now if it weren't for the mailman delivering a package to my neighbor that day. She was delivering the package and saw me through the window choking on my own vomit. She called 911 and I was saved. Yeah, I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. But after that, after I got out of the hospital, I went back home. I went back home and I worked on myself and for 4 years, including therapy and going to the gym and working out. I was finally able to let it all go. I moved on with my life. And about 6 years after I moved back home, I met this amazing woman. She had an 11-year-old kid at the time. And I can't lie. At first, I was a little standoffish toward her, but the kid was amazing, caring, and loving. You can't help but fall in love with the kid. And when he turned 18, he asked me to adopt him. And that was the proudest day of my life. Him and his mom really saved me. They saved my life. Now, I'm a proud father of an 18-year-old adopted boy who's in the Marines, a 4-year-old boy, and an 18-month-old baby girl. I'm even doing better at work. I'm doing pretty good for my life right now for me and my family. I went from being a man that no one can love to a man with a loving family. I survived. I'm a survivor. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I was at work in my office when I received a call. It was my ex sister in law. She had called me to inform me that my ex passed away. I simply said, okay, and hung up. I ain't saw or talked to these people in 14 years. I don't care what's going on with them. I don't want to know. Shortly after, I was at home getting ready to leave with my family, and I get a knock on my door. I could recognize him through the glass. It was my first biological offspring. I opened the door and he said, "Hi, Dad, it's your son." I said, "No, it's not. I have two sons, and you're neither one of them. Now, can you please leave my property?" He just sat there looking dumbfounded. I shut the door, and after a while, he left. And shortly after that, I put out a text to my whole entire family, letting them know he was lurking around. I also let them know that anyone who has contact with him, I will cut them off completely. It's been 14 years. 14 years. He went there when I was sitting by my mom on her deathbed and she was begging to see that child. He went there when I had machine breathing for me because I was about to die. Because of him. No, I learned in therapy that he had the right to make his own decision. I also learned that I have the right to make my own decision. And my decision was to cut him out and move on, just like he wanted. Cut him off and move on, not have him a part of my family. So he has no right to try to come back into my life or come back around me and my family. I don't owe him or his family anything. And my family, my in-laws agree with me. They're saying nothing good can come out of this. He's 26 years old now. He was 12 years old when he made that decision. But to be honest, I don't care if he was 12 or 200, because he's the one that made that call. And if you could look in his face, if you could have saw the look in his face when he said, "Yeah, so," you'd have known right then that he didn't give a damn about me. So I had to stop giving a damn about him to survive. Now all of a sudden, his mom's passed away, and now I'm up to bat. I'm up to par. He doesn't have the right to try to come to my house and ambush me and act like he's something to me. And it turns out my sister is the one that gave him and my ex-sister-in-law my contact information. She's inconsolable that I won't forgive the kid. Apparently, after he left my house, he called her, broke down crying. I stopped her right there and I told her I don't care. Now she's begging me to have a meeting with this kid, saying do it for our mother and my mother's sake. Knowing my mom was on her deathbed, crying out for this kid. So I come here and ask you, is there anything good that could come out of a meeting with this kid? Do you guys think I should let my
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy, yo. Like, as a father, I would, you mean, as a father, you hear me? As fathers out there, if y'all was in this man's shoes, if y'all was put in his situation, what would y'all do? Me, I could speak as a mother. Like, my son didn't want to be here. So at the end of the day, you know, he wanted to be with his aunt. So we signed the papers. He still has a door to come see me. I'm his mom. I love him. Nothing in this world can sit here and take the love that I have for my child. You see where I'm coming from? I don't hate him. I'm not gonna fight with him like he's somebody from the streets. He made the decision that he made, yes. So he has to, when he hits a certain age, he's gonna have to learn how to live on his own. Especially if his aunt and his uncle won't be there to provide for him. God forbid it. I don't want nothing bad to happen. But at the end of the day, as a mother, I feel as though like my son made his bed. He made his choice. He made his bed. He got to lay in it. Like, I fought for him. Like, I did a lot. I did everything that I could as a mother. I protected him. I raised him. I taught him. I gave him love. I taught him a lot of things. So at the end of the day, I did my job. So as a parent, I'm not going to sit here and hold him back. Like, you 17 years old. You're about to be 17 when we was making all these decisions and everything that was happening. I didn't have no services here for him. I couldn't get him the proper services at all because of the situations that are happening with the HIPAA laws and everything down here in Philadelphia. I know it's in other cities that it's happening too. So listen, at the end of the day, like I said, I told a lot of parents, like I've been asked that question, like, would you let your son back? He can come back into my house. My doors are always open. He needs me. Listen, I'm his mother. He needs advice. I'm his mother. Like, he disrespected me. Yes, I know that. As a parent, should I not let him back in? No. But see, he's going to learn his lesson. I gave him a life lesson right now doing making the decision that I made. Can't nobody change that decision or say, oh, you're a bad mother for this, you're a bad. No. In reality, a good mother seeks help. So me, I don't feel as though like, yeah, it hurts. I feel hurt deep down. Like, now you gotta sit here, you gotta learn this lesson because at the end of the day, I didn't want you to go out there. Like, God forbid anything happens. This your last chance. You don't got no more chances after this. You mess up in life, you're going behind bars because of a simple mistake that you made when you was 11 years old. This was my conversation with my child. You see, a lot of parents have different. The situation is not the same. See, that was my situation, the situation that I experienced with my son, and I found ways to help him. And at the end of the day, listen, the influence of his grandmother was stronger than mine. So the influence of his friends was stronger than mine. He hit an age where, you know, it's crazy that regardless of him having the situation that he has, the condition that he has, by law, he still can make allegedly his own decisions, but still needs my signature. See the hypocrisy in that shit. Like at 17, a lot of these kids don't know what they want or what they even really need. They still figuring it out. They still figuring out who they want to be, where they want to go in life, what they want to do, who they want to become. Like, and I'm not saying like another person. What I'm saying is a doctor, a lawyer, officer, a teacher. Listen, man, a librarian, a janitor. It don't matter because we can't sit here and pick for them. A scientist, damn, like somebody that these kids are smart though. Regardless of anything, like that's what made me come up with the idea of getting this um community center up and open because a lot of the programs that exist are good, right? But we need to put more. We need to bring more. We need to motivate these kids. We need to show them that there's another way. It's already 7:58. So I mean, there's different ways we could do this, but we're making excuses as adults. We really are, and I'm really tired of hearing that. There's too many adults making excuses with so many programs out here, with so many resources that we have. Like it's crazy. But before I end up, switching topics or anything, that's a question that I would love to ask the men out here. If y'all was to go through what this man just went through in this video, what would y'all do? Would y'all let your child back in your life after they become, a grown ass person? Same thing goes for moms. What would y'all do if y'all was put in a situation where your child said he didn't want to be with you? Like, and it's like, damn, that shit hurts. Like, you my best friend. But see, I don't want people to get it wrong though. So like motherfuckers out here be thinking, oh, you said friend, best friend. No, the concept of best friend is, listen, man, we told each other everything. Between me and my kids, there's no secrets. They got my shoulder to lean on. Listen, my ears are always open to hear what they gotta say, and I'm gonna always be here to give that advice to them. I'm a mother before I'm a friend. I'm a mother before I'm a woman, and that's where a lot of these women out here. I'm not even gonna call a lot of these. Oh my God, these are grown grown women, and these are grown little girls in a woman's body. That's what a lot of these females are. Like, don't sit out here. Stop